The following is produced by 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content and is sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.
Hi, I'm Ed Begley Jr. Welcome to today's Environment. This week we'll see how valuable timber is being saved by technology that gets better use out of the trees that are cut, and how soil erosion, which scars the land and muddies our streams and rivers, is being managed at construction sites. We'll also see how something that was once considered a source of air pollution is now being used as a fuel. Stay with us as we find out more about these and other issues that affect our quality of life.
Today, City Council with 9,000
reducing air
supermarkets
pollutants by
likely a milestone
30%.
in
Educational programs.
Not long ago, some experts predicted that the paperless office was just around the corner. Instead, what we've seen is a dramatic increase in the amount of paper used in business. High-speed copiers and fax machines are just two innovations that are contributing to this. Now, however, recycled office paper is offering some relief.
Across our country, there are hundreds of locations like this that are the final resting place for all of the things that we no longer want, need, or have any further use for. Once called dumps, and now called landfills, they're filling up at an alarming rate. And as they reach full capacity, they're being closed. Now, this wouldn't be a problem except for the fact that there are fewer new ones being opened to replace them. In fact, by the year 2000, it is estimated that there will be only 1,200 active landfills, compared with the 14,000 that operated in 1978. So the problem becomes even more apparent. What then are our options, and what can we do to extend a landfill's useful life? One simple answer, of course, is to put less waste into them, and to reclaim materials and recycle them into useful products. However, in order for this strategy to work, there must be a market for the products. And since as much as 40% of what goes into a landfill is paper, let's take a closer look at what can be done. Recycled paper has been a source of pulp for many years, but until recently, the quality has been lower than that of virgin fiber paper, and the cost actually higher. As a result, only the most environmentally conscious people purchased it. But something new has come along that's changing this. International Paper has recently added a new de-inking plant to its facility in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, where they're producing 100% recycled business papers called Hammermill Unity DP and Spring Hill Incentive 100. They're made exclusively from old newspapers and magazines using a licensed de-inking process that was developed in Germany. And it's this process that makes the Lock Haven de-inking facility so unique. This paper far exceeds all state and federal requirements for recycled fiber content, both now and in the future. The process begins with the arrival of old newspapers and magazines. Here, staples and other contaminants are removed, as well as any sand or dirt that may have been picked up along the way. The old paper is mixed in a slurry of water, which is used to help separate the pulp from the ink, and then special filters and a water treatment system, which are part of the process, remove the ink from the water. The system not only achieves the primary objective of de-inking, but also makes it possible to recycle the water. Since no additional bleach is used, the paper has a natural color that is easy on the eyes. But unlike many other recycled papers that have specks, flakes, and blotches, this is uniform in both color and texture. and is widely accepted in many business applications, such as memo pads, forms, correspondence, and folders. Hammermill Unity DP and Spring Hill Incentive 100 can be used in all office copy machines, including the latest high-speed units, laser printers with desktop computers, plain paper fax machines, and even offset printing presses. Recycled paper can meet many business needs without compromising quality. Now companies and individuals alike can make environmentally responsible choices when purchasing paper.
Hazardous materials can pose a serious threat to our health. A lot of them, like this partially used can of paint, can be found in most garages and cellars. Keeping them around the house is bad enough, but improper disposal is even worse. Let's see the proper way to get rid of them.
Controlling hazardous waste within households, industries, and our communities is one of the greatest challenges we currently face. From aerospace manufacturers to oil refineries and cosmetics producers, the treating, recycling, incinerating, and landfilling of hazardous refuse occurs. Yet constantly changing government regulations are having a huge impact on those dealing with the problem of disposing of these wastes. Research centers, schools, industrial plants, hospitals, and commercial laboratories are all responsible for the treatment and disposal of their own materials. And one effective and environmentally safe method to handle their hazardous waste is through high-temperature thermal treatment. In this process, the waste is subjected to temperatures ranging from 1800 to 2400 degrees Fahrenheit over extended periods of time, which breaks down the matter. Gases are then chemically neutralized to eliminate acidity and mechanically scrubbed to remove particles. The processed water which is used when treating the gas is then purified to meet specific standards before being released to the environment. We traveled to Rollins Environmental Services to see one of the first commercial hazardous waste incinerators at work. This company handles more than 400 million pounds of waste annually at its 3 facilities, which sort, treat, and incinerate. One of the most important aspects of controlling industrial hazardous waste is the analytical testing of it all. Air, water, soil, and other contaminated samples are typically studied in the laboratory to determine how the waste is treated. Another industrial hazard that the company handles is the safe disposal of the compressed gas within the cylinders. One of the problems here is the containment of toxic and volatile gases, which may be explosive when mixed with air or water. This fully contained station prevents any gases from escaping into the air. Rollins also performs the complete destruction of the gases by incineration. These incinerators are fully secured and sealed with no possibility of escape for gases. After the gases are eliminated, the carcasses themselves are sent to be recycled. Even the ash from the industrial hazardous waste materials is analyzed by the labs and sent to secured, regulated landfills and not to community sites. During the collection of household hazardous waste, those materials that can't be recycled are packaged, documented, and sent to a thermal treatment facility. Mobile environmental units provide the capabilities of a permanent collection center with the convenience of a neighborhood project. Within this 50-foot unit, experts handle the collecting, segregating, consolidating, and packing of all recyclable and non-recyclable hazardous waste. This remote facility is strictly geared to handle household hazardous waste and pesticide collections, and not industrial waste. Maintaining control of our industrial and household waste continues to be a daily challenge that demands attention to better our environment.
Most of us don't realize that landfills produce methane gas, which is caused by the decay of organic matter. It has gone from being a source of air pollution to a valuable fuel and is helping to take the pressure off our dependence on oil. Let's take a look.
America's first trash disposal method was simply to pile it into open dumps and burn it. However, waste disposal has evolved considerably since then, and so have its benefits and byproducts. During the 60s, it was discovered that solid waste was decomposing and generating gas inside the landfills, which was escaping into the atmosphere, creating major problems for the environment. To help resolve this situation, the landfill gas recovery business was established. Recognizing the importance to the environment, Zarin Financial Corporation and Energy Tactics teamed up, developing projects for collecting and using landfill gas as a fuel source for generating alternative energy, while at the same time helping conserve traditional types of fuels. Unlike natural gas from deep wells, this gas is only 50% methane and does not stay in the ground until tapped. In a typical methane recovery from landfill project, a section of the landfill that has been closed is covered with an impermeable layer of clay or plastic. A series of vertical recovery wells, 30 to 100 feet deep, are drilled so that the gas can be extracted through a perforated pipe inserted into the wells. Mechanical blowers or compressors are attached, drawing the gas to a central location to be burned in a flare or recovered for its energy value. When landfill gas is generated, pressure builds up and the gas is forced outside or migrates underground. If it escapes through to the surface, contaminants flow into the atmosphere, causing air pollution, along with the foul odors that result from the decay of solid waste. This gas also contributes to the greenhouse effect in the upper atmosphere and deterioration of the ozone layer. If captured properly, it can be used productively in one of three ways. After limited processing, it is used for firing utility boilers or other burners. A second utilization is to upgrade the landfill gas to pipeline quality by removing the carbon dioxide and then selling the gas to utilities. The major use is in producing electricity. Generators can be driven using it as fuel for engines or turbines, and the electricity produced is usually sold to utilities. Zarin Financial and Energy Tactics operate 7 sites, all producing electrical power from landfill gas. One site, the Oceanside Landfill on Long Island, New York, produces in excess of 30 million kilowatt hours of electrical power each year. The output of the Oceanside Power Generating Plant is equal to the electrical needs of approximately 6,000 households on Long Island. This power is conserving fuel, such as imported oil and other resources that the electric utility would have to purchase from other sources.
The landfill gas saves approximately 70,000 barrels of imported oil per year and otherwise reduces the pollutants associated with this gas.
Landfill gas represents an environmental liability and a lost opportunity if left uncollected or uncontrolled. The best use of this resource is to recycle it into a marketable energy product, which not only helps preserve our environment, but reduces our reliance on other energy sources.
Burning fuel to create power causes some form of air pollution. Natural gas is abundant and burns cleaner than many other fuels. Let's take a look at another use of natural gas.
Clean air was once something we all took for granted, but now it has become a privilege sought by millions of people living in urban and semi-rural areas plagued by pollution. Natural gas has been a major part of America's energy portfolio for decades, and it's now being used in new ways to help meet regulations for clean air. According to the Gas Research Institute, which plans and manages a multi-million-dollar research program for the U.S. gas industry, natural gas is clean-burning, abundant, and affordable energy that can be of greater value to customers facing new clean air regulations. Controlling emissions from combustion of fossil fuels is an important concern, and wider use of natural gas makes sense because it is the least polluting fossil fuel. Cars and trucks use large quantities of imported liquid fuels and are a major source of urban pollution, but a change is on the way. The Gas Research Institute estimates that 25,000 natural gas vehicles, or NGVs, are already in use, virtually all in commercial fleets.
To achieve the industry's goal of 1 million NGVs on the road by the year 2000, several obstacles have to be overcome. First, cars and light trucks must be able to travel at least 250 miles between refuelings. Today's NGVs have ranges of about 150 miles. Second, more fueling stations must be added to the nearly 1,000 public and private stations now in operation. Today, about 3 new stations are being opened each week. And third, the cost for an NGV must be reduced, as they cost about $4,000 more than gasoline-powered vehicles.
What about the question of natural gas for homes and businesses? Although electric equipment has dominated U.S. cooling markets over the past 2 decades, gas technology is making a strong comeback. 1994 marks the introduction of a new highly efficient gas heat pump. The engine-driven system, developed with GRI support, operates at about half the cost of an electric heat pump. Environmental concerns have prompted the phase-out of chlorofluorocarbon refrigerants, known as CFCs, which destroy the ozone layer. That makes a variety of available gas-fueled cooling systems more attractive for commercial buildings because they don't use CFCs. Electric power plants are also facing tougher environmental rules, and new technology can help. One example, the fuel cell. This space-age technology converts natural gas into electricity and heat, creating virtually no pollutants. A second is the turbine. Advanced gas turbines now on the market generate electric power at high efficiency, with low levels of exhaust emissions. More and more industries are turning to gas to clean up production processes. For example, substituting gas for coke in steel making cuts air emissions and can improve productivity and product quality. We know now more than ever about the environmental effects of energy use. And because we now place increased value on a clean environment, efficient new natural gas technologies will likely play an even bigger role in the choices we make about energy use.
By necessity, builders and farmers must sometimes clear land of all vegetation. Wildfires can also strip the land bare. These things can lead to serious soil erosion if appropriate measures are not taken immediately. One of those measures involves giving nature a helping hand.
Most of us just think of this as dirt. But topsoil is, in fact, one of the Earth's most valuable natural resources. Without it, very few plants could survive. There would be no forests for wildlife to live in. And the loss of topsoil reduces our ability to produce the nation's food supply. Unfortunately, soil erosion is occurring at alarming rates. In some agricultural areas, for example, the losses are estimated to be approximately 100 tons per acre per year, while non-agricultural construction and mining sites may be losing twice that amount. Serious erosion can occur anywhere that the natural vegetation has been stripped from the ground, thereby exposing it to the ravages of the wind and rain. What happens to all of this soil? Very simply, it eventually becomes a pollutant when it silts up our rivers, streams, and lakes. This in turn causes problems not only for aquatic life, but also by blocking channels for navigation and disturbing the natural flow of rivers, increasing the threat of flooding. In addition, nutrients, fertilizers, and pesticides carried away by eroded soil find their way into our natural water systems. Soil erosion is a serious problem. But through extensive research, a company called North American Green has developed a solution with its family of erosion control blankets. To begin the program, site-specific plans are prepared using a special computer program which considers the site parameters to develop recommendations for proper erosion control materials. Made from straw, as well as coconut and man-made fibers, these blankets offer protection to the bare soil on steep slopes, in drainage channels near roadways, and along lake and stream banks. Installation includes several steps. First, the site is prepared by proper grading, smoothing the land by eliminating large rocks and debris to form a seed bed. Suitable grass or plant seeds are sowed and the bed fertilized. The blankets are then rolled out and anchored into place. Depending on the conditions, several types can be used. A sturdy coconut fiber blanket is protecting the bottom of this channel, while a combination coconut and straw blanket is positioned on the side banks. By providing this ground cover during these critical early stages, the seeds, fertilizer, and topsoil are held securely in place, reducing the potential for erosion. Once the vegetation begins to grow, it further anchors the blanket to the soil. The new growth also acts to slow the water velocity and traps silt coming from upstream. As the channel lining matures, new shoots begin to appear on the top of the soil with their roots deeply embedded through the blanket. Erosion control is essential, and the establishment of vegetation at construction sites, especially in areas where natural disasters have occurred, such as the wildfires in California and the Midwestern floods, where the devastation could have been worse. With effective ground cover, like this from North American Green Blankets, soil erosion is being minimized and our environment is being protected.
It's unlikely that we will ever find a substitute for lumber in every application. We use it in so many things, from building our homes to this wooden chair. We can, however, make better use of what we do harvest by applying some innovative new technology.
I think that I shall never see a palm lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowering breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. Joyce Kilmer, the author of this poem titled Trees, clearly appreciated the beauty of nature. But I wonder if he also understood the value of conservation. With the ever-increasing demand for lumber to build houses and furniture and pulp to produce paper products, our timber resources need to be managed more efficiently than ever before. There are a number of ways to achieve this. Plant more trees than are harvested, maintain complete control of forest growth and natural regeneration, and completely use all parts of the trees that are felled. For example, shipping pallets have traditionally been made out of wooden boards. Now, this use of lumber may not seem significant, but each year more than 6 billion board feet are used for this purpose. One company, however, Litgo International, based in Vienna, Ohio, expects to produce more than 3 million Inca presswood pallets next year without harvesting a single tree that could be used for higher value lumber products. They are molded using a patented process from composite materials consisting of wood chips and a biodegradable resin. Since no boards are used, normal pallet lumber is not required. Instead, nearly all of the chips Litco uses are from recycled wood and lumber byproducts, 46% of this coming from industry waste. And the company's goal is to continually increase this percentage until it reaches 100%. Wood chips from furniture and construction scraps are also used. These small sawed-off ends are ideal. Another source is underbrush. By clearing dense growth from the forest floor, the larger trees are able to grow more quickly. Most importantly, there is no waste generated from this process. The trunk, branches, bark, even the leaves are put to use. In contrast, only 28% of the tree can be cut into usable boards. Besides being recyclable and biodegradable, the Inca presswood pallets offer several other benefits over conventional ones. There are no nails or sharp corners to snag and damage merchandise. And because they are molded to nest together when stacked, they take up less storage space. This feature saves time, energy, and money when transporting and handling, because more pallets can be moved at one time. Joyce Kilmer was a poet, not an environmentalist. But he would be pleased to know that the trees he loved so much, our only renewable natural resource, are being properly utilized so that future generations can enjoy their enduring beauty and the lumber products they provide.
We can all help to make a difference. These innovative technologies that you've seen in today's show are examples of this. I'm Ed Begley Jr. Join me the next time as we explore more environmental solutions on Today's Environment.
If you know of any interesting environmental success stories, call us at 407-997-9800. This has been a presentation of 5 Star Productions USA. The preceding program was sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.